Well, welcome everybody. I'm Sandra Harry, and I'm co-CEO of The Great Discovery. And thank you everybody for staying from our last session. We just got done with our weekly update call. There was a lot of great stuff going on. But this session now, we move into our course spotlight for our creators. And we've got a really cool session coming up tonight. So a lot of you, if you're new and you don't know what the course spotlight is what we do is we have all these creators that bring their genius onto the Great Discovery platform, and they create courses out of them. And we did just launch our new channels tonight, so those are up too. So if you haven't seen those, go check that out. But we've got all of our creators, they're bringing their genius onto the platform. And Monday and Wednesday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern on TGG Meet right here, we allow them to showcase their courses and talk to you and let you know about their courses, ask questions about their courses. So it's pretty amazing, and it's a great place. So if you are a creator and you haven't signed up for a spotlight, at the bottom of when you're onboarding a course, there is a link down there that says go and join the course spotlight, and you can pick your date and time and put in all your information, and we'll get you scheduled. But tonight we've got a really cool spotlight, and I've been really looking forward to this one. Constantin Morun is going to be coming on, and he's here tonight. I'll go ahead, and Tim, if you want to get him spotlighted too, that would be great. But his course title is The Journey to Freedom of Time. First step, create 10 hours each week. I don't know about you guys, but boy, I could really use an extra 10 hours a week. In fact, Constantine, can you help me figure out how I can get another 10 hours tonight? Because
Right.
I think I could really use that. So
Yeah.
I know, right? That's
We can
great.
try our best. We can try our best. No, thank you for the beautiful intro.
Well, Constantine, it's a pleasure to have you tonight. Like I said, I'm really excited about it. So Constantine has quite the bio, guys. I'm going to give a stab at it, okay? Constantine is a dedicated transformational performance coach for high-achieving change makers, way makers, and visionaries. He specializes in guiding leaders to reconnect with their true selves, helping them lead with authenticity, clarity, and purpose, all while creating space for joy, fulfillment, and lasting impact. I think that we all probably need that, right? As a neuro encoding specialist, Constantine empowers individuals to rewire their minds for peak performance and lasting change. His methods blend the latest psychology, neuroscience, and mindset transformation, allowing leaders to break free from internal narratives that hold them back. I don't know about you guys, but I think we all kind of mess with that a little bit, particularly the deeply ingrained belief of not being enough. I think we've all heard that, right? But Constantine's work doesn't end there. Alongside his scientific expertise, he also is a gifted shaman, healer, and channeler, capable of connecting with angelic and shamanic guides to facilitate deeper transformative healing. Through his own journey of spiritual awakening and self discovery, Constantine has found a way to harmonize the tangible and intangible, integrating both worlds to support others on a profound journey of personal growth. With a unique background in psychology, neuroscience, mathematics, and technology, Constantine has developed strategies and systems that drive personal and professional growth. His clients not only experience deeper peace of mind and purpose driven leadership, but also see significant increases in abundance, sales, and financial success as a byproduct of their transformation. When leaders operate from a place of clarity and self trust, they create the space for greater success and impact, both personally and financially. Over the past 2 decades, he has mentored and coached across various domains, leveraging his deep understanding of human potential to help high achievers transform their lives from a place of self trust and inner power. Through a harmonious blend of science and spirituality, Constantine offers a unique approach that integrates mind, body, and soul, helping individuals unlock their full potential and living with greater alignment and authenticity. Now, Constantine, I'm going to hand it over to you, and
Thank you.
please show us how to gain 10 hours.
I appreciate you, Sandra. Thank you for reading my bio there. And welcome, everyone. So grateful that all of you decided to stick around here. And I hope to do Sandra justice for everything that she brought ahead there. And what I promise in the course and in the work that I do. A bit of backstory on me, how I got here in 2021. I was chasing a big promotion at Microsoft. I was in a very senior customer facing role in sales, and I was chasing this promotion. It was that big milestone ahead of me. And you know what happens when you have that target ahead of you, right? That one goal you're trying to achieve, and then you get there and you get that goal. And I did. But then the dust settles and you're like, but what's next? No, right? Like I thought this is going to make me happy, you know, more money, more recognition, more responsibility is going to make me a better person. But of course it didn't. And what I realized is those 70, 80 hours I was putting in were just not giving me what I was hoping for beyond material success, which was, and Sandra mentioned this idea of finding peace, finding fulfillment, finding purpose in everything that you do, and not feeling like you're on this hamster wheel going on, and you're still seeing the same results. And that's what put me on a path to go within and find answers. Like, why is it that time seems to be so elusive and everyone wants more of it, and yet we get more time and then it still disappears just as easily as it came? And it took me a couple of years of trial and error to figure out what was working for me and what wasn't, and why I had to spend 80 hours working or 70 hours working. And through what I discovered, it allowed me to bring down my workload to 30 to 40 hours a week, be more productive, more impactful in everything I did, and allowing me to pursue what I truly wanted to pursue in life instead of just looking to escape the reality I was creating for myself. Because you see, when I was working those 80-hour weeks, every single hour I had outside of it was spent on escaping the reality that I was working 80-hour weeks. And I can imagine many of you in the audience at some point in your life, or maybe you know someone that has spent a lot of time on a project, on a job, and then every single waking hour was spent on trying to get away from it, but knowing that you can't really get away from it, or feeling like you can't get away from it. So in the last few years, since I've been able to unpack that for myself, I've been able to work with many, many clients across many industries and many areas, from entrepreneurs to corporate executives, in helping them understand, what's the relationship with time, how they can improve that so they can make time work for them as opposed to working against them. And then create time in their life to do the things that they want without sacrificing things that you normally would think you need to sacrifice. Maybe you think that by giving yourself time back in your schedule, you have to sacrifice your success, or you have to sacrifice your relationships, or you have to sacrifice time with you, or any other things that normally we would have to sacrifice. Because in my case, I sacrificed on sleep, I sacrificed on relationships, I sacrificed on me time, right? Like quality me time. So what I've tried to do through this course was to create a framework and a blueprint based in all the classes I've taught over the years, as well as the clients I've worked with, where we break down and we look at, like, well, what's the big picture here? Because creating time is great, but why are we creating time to begin with? And then how do we apply what I call Band-Aid solutions to gain a bit of time in our schedule? And then as we gain the time, leverage some of it to be able to go deeper within ourselves and create even more time. Because you see, again, you probably have seen this in your life. You are in an 8-hour work shift, or maybe 10 hour, maybe 12, and you have a bunch of meetings in your calendar. And all of a sudden, one of those meetings gets canceled. And you're like, oh my God, so awesome. I get to now catch up on email, or I get to work on this one task. But then another part of you goes like, well, you know what? I haven't had a chance to just take a moment for me, relax. You're like, you know what? I'll start with 5 minutes on Facebook, or I'll go read this one article. And then that turns into an hour of scrolling and trying to escape without realizing you're trying to escape. So yes, we created an hour because something outside of us caused it. But that hour went back to things that weren't necessarily nurturing us and getting us closer to our vision, whatever that vision may be. So the idea here is that as we create some of this time, at least some of it should be used in understanding the root cause analysis of what's going on in your life. Why Why is our mind really creating this gap where time is being lost? So that's where the mindset shifts come in. That's where the psychology aspect comes in, and mindfulness as well. So this course is meant to give you an introduction. So there's actually two courses. There's a free one that gets you introduced to the idea, and then this one that takes you deeper. And I call it the first stage because if you get to free up 10 hours in your schedule, and I believe that anyone right now on this call can free up 10 hours in their schedule within the next 2 weeks at most, you can then take half of it and invest it back in yourself to find out the root cause of why time is being spent in the first place, or wasted, whatever word you want to use. So for example, many of us struggle with hesitation, procrastination, stress, overwhelm, burnout. Those are what I call symptoms. And a symptom is going to keep reappearing in a different way until you treat the root cause. So it's almost like if you wake up tomorrow morning with a headache, you're probably going to pop a Tylenol or an Advil, and the headache may go away. And then you go about your day. You don't even think twice about it. But if that headache comes back the day after and the day after that, at one point you're going to be like, wow, you know what? I should go check this out and see what's going on. The same thing happens in our professional and personal lives with time, right? All of a sudden your time keeps running away from you, and it manifests in overwhelm. It manifests in being busy all the time, in being stressed all the time. And then you're like, well, let me find a quick hack. Like let's find the Advil that will help me regain some control back. So maybe that Advil at the beginning is going to be cutting back on sleep for 1 hour a night. And you know what? For the first week or two or a month or a year even, it might be okay. But then things compound. The symptoms get stronger. So my entire process is based in yes, let's apply the Band-Aid solutions while we find the root causes and eliminate the root cause. So then you never need a Band-Aid solution again for this particular challenge. Now, the course, the way I structured it, and I'm actually going to share my screen here for a second. I have one slide I want to show everyone. And let me see if this lets me. One moment. And if you have questions, if you want to ask anything, please type in the chat or come off of mute. Happy to answer anything. So the whole idea behind what I teach and what I guide people to is this idea of reimagining leadership. And it starts with the self-leadership. And it's the idea of leading with purpose and achieve with ease. And for that, we need freedom of time. Now, the way, let me see if it moves here. So I have this framework that's based in the 3 pillars. The idea, like what my purpose in this life is, and what I guide my clients to as well, is this idea of shining your light bright. In other words, finding what it is that is unique to you, your gifts, your values, your strengths, your purpose, and bringing that in everything that you do. So then you navigate your life with ease, with peace, with joy, with fulfillment, with purpose. So regardless of what you do, be it work or be it a personal thing, it's aligned fully with who you are. But what I've realized on that path, because I've been someone that all my life, I've asked myself, what's my purpose? I want to do more of what's me. But the way I grew up, the way I allow society to treat me in a way, didn't allow my light to shine bright because I kept putting self-imposed limitations on myself. Well, I can't show this part of me because I'm going to be rejected in this group or society. Or I can't do this because of someone else. But really, it was all about me putting those shackles on myself. So what I have found is that in order to be able to shine your light bright, you need a level of understanding of who you are. And I call that the know thyself, the purple section. So this is a deeper sense of your self-awareness and alignment with your actions through your core values and purpose. But really, most of us, if you look at everyone in your life, you may be doing this already, and that's amazing if you are. But most people in life that I get to work with and those that I don't get to work with, that's the one category where they cut back on when they want to find more time, which is the self area, the knowing thyself, the investing back in you. So if that's what you cut, then you're rarely going to ever get to shine your light bright. Because the more you cut in knowing thyself, the less you know about you, the less you trust who you are, the less you trust those gifts you have, and the less you bring them to the world. So then, for me, it all starts with this freedom of time and energy, which is all about creating space and energy to focus on what truly matters by eliminating overwhelm and regaining control. And the beauty of something like this, freedom of time and energy, and then going to know that self, channel light bright, it does not require anything external of you. This is all internal work, which some would argue is the toughest type of work. But I promise you that if you start to go within and you start to trust your answers, to find your answers, everything will change. Today, you find me working 35, 40 hours a week at most, being more productive, having more financial abundance than ever before, more relationship abundance than ever before. Everything feels easy, at peace. Yes, I have challenges in life like everyone else does. I still live in this society where things seem to be upside down more than not. But because I got to go within, and it's a journey, so I still continue to go within, I get to find this ease, this peace, and I can trust that whatever comes up for me, it is for me and for my highest good. So the ultimate goal is to shine your light bright. We get there by starting to know thyself, and we get there by having some freedom of time and energy. And I see it as a wheel. Once you start moving the wheel, momentum will carry it forward. So the more you shine your light bright, the more you get clear on who you are and your values, and the right people get attracted to you. And all of a sudden, more freedom of time and energy appears. And more freedom of time and energy appears, you get to know yourself better. The more you get to know yourself better, the more you shine your light bright. So it's a cycle that builds on each module on itself, and you get to reap all the rewards of it. And of course, if you benefit from it, everyone in your life is going to benefit from it as well. So now that let me stop. Let me go out here because I have the course up in front of me. So the way we have it structured, or the way I structured it at the time, and I'm building the modules to continue from here onwards. But the idea is what I just talked about. You'll get a more in-depth overview of how I look at the freedom to shine, essentially, to shine your light bright. And understanding how creating freedom of time forms the foundation for reconnecting with your true self, and then leading with authenticity, clarity, and purpose. From there, we move into what I call those Band-Aid solutions I mentioned earlier, right? Those are quick fix solutions. These are some of them based in hacks that you find online all the time, but also things that I've tested and practiced myself, and also with most of my clients, and have seen a lot of success with. So the idea here is like, how do you stop the time drains, the most obvious ones, and set a strong foundation for deeper change? And this is where you will learn how to actually start regaining some of the time back. Now, the way I see it is time is lost up here. I'm pointing to my head for those that are only listening. And the reason being is that the way our life works, and the way I understand it now, is that based on everything that we've learned over the years, stories get formed in our mind, right? Based on your experiences in life. And whenever a new experience presents itself to you, you're going to use the stories of your past to decide how you're going to respond or react in the moment. Some of those changes, or some of the stories rather, are not conducive to the person you want to become, or the person you hope to become. An analogy I can give you here for those of us that are more visual, think of it as I have a beautiful phone in front of me, a Samsung S24, and it's a phone that runs the latest software, right? The phone itself is what I call the hardware. We are all the same. We all have the same hardware. We're all this beautiful Samsung phone. But the software is where each of us are very different. So see, my phone may have 200 apps on it, so software applications. Yours may have 100 and different ones. Some of the ones I have might be 10 years old or 20 years old or 40 years old. And some I might not even be using anymore, or they may be used only in certain occasions. But if I'm using an app that's maybe, let's say, 25 years old, how useful is it going to be right now in this present moment? Probably not the best it could be. And those are the stories of our lives. And we know from psychology that most of the stories that dictate your life today were formed between the ages of 0 and 7. when you're absorbing everything that was around you, you didn't have your conscious mind fully formed, and you're absorbing everything. So the question I ask you, I'm 41, about to turn 42 in a few months. Do I really want to lead my life with stories that are 35 years old, 37, 38, 40 years old? Or can I change those stories? And again, neuroscience through neuroplasticity has shown us that we can change any and all stories that we don't like. So by creating a bit of time, we can now dive deeper with mindset techniques to enhance these time hacks that we talked about, to create more time, sustainable time in our life. Because again, if time is lost up in the head through these stories that we just talked about, we can tackle that. We can find those stories, change the parts we don't like, and all of a sudden, time just appears out of nowhere, among many other things. So going back, the first module is introducing the Band-Aid solutions and why they're important. A deep dive into what those Band-Aid solutions are to reclaim your 10 hours, at least minimum. And with my clients, I see just applying what I teach here, anywhere between 10 to 20 hours on average. Everyone is different, of course, and it depends on how your schedule is set up as well. But routinely, I have clients, and this was myself as well, going from 70, 80-hour work weeks, some to 20 if that's what they want, but most high achievers want to stay around 40 hours a week, achieve more, create more, bring more money in, and have more time for themselves. And that's what you'll be able to do as you begin this journey. Now, in module 3 is where we go into enhancing time hacks and mindset techniques. And this is what I introduce. One of my favorite techniques is stop technique, which is about interrupting thoughts that are no longer serving you, interrupting beliefs that are no longer serving you, and replacing them with something else. This is based in both science and mindfulness techniques. And I have a framework that I devised called the ACT framework, which really it starts with awareness and then builds from there in allowing you to have a framework to apply change in your life. Part of my professional career in the corporate world has been around change management, organization change management, where they have some amazing frameworks on how they can get people to change. Well, we are people too, and we can take those frameworks that work really well in corporate, and then we can change them to apply to our life. And that's what I've done with the ACT framework. Essentially, I broke it down into a framework that you can take and you can apply to any situation in your life, and you can see at which stage you are and what stages you may want to consider to move into. And module 4, which is where we come to a conclusion for this particular course, is where we do mindset shifts and discuss integration to sustain this time of freedom. Because as I mentioned earlier, there have been many times when one creates time, and then that time, I use quotation marks, it's not quality time, because you end up, okay, I have 5 extra hours in my week, I'm just going to watch 5 hours of Netflix. Nothing wrong with watching Netflix, but if that watching Netflix doesn't take you closer to your vision, then it's not quality time. Now, if watching Netflix gets you closer to your vision, because let's say you watch a documentary about something you're really passionate about, absolutely, more power to you. But for most of us, when we create time, the majority of it does not go towards taking us closer to our vision. And then I always end with gratitude and celebration. The idea is to take a look at what you've done, celebrate yourself for how far you come, and track to see how much time did you get to save as you start implementing these aspects of it. So now I'll pause there. I know we have, I'm going to stop sharing. I know we have like 5 minutes left. Sandra, I'm not sure if there's any questions that we want to allow people to have, or if there's anything else you'd like me to add, but that was pretty much all I had on my agenda to share.
That was absolutely great. I definitely think we should open it up for questions. Questions, guys. Great concepts. I love it. Now you got me thinking about, if I do watch Netflix, do I really deserve that, or should I be watching Netflix? Dang it. But wait, if it's like my one getaway during the day, my little escape, does it still count? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm with you. I'll be honest with you. When I was doing those crazy hours at Microsoft and chasing the promotion, I was using Netflix and gaming as an escape, and then cutting back on sleep because I didn't want to face reality to go back to my life. And to be honest, we all have our vices. We all have things that we do for ourselves. And it's not about eliminating all of those, but the more clear you become on who you are and who you're becoming, the easier it's going to be like, I'm going to sit on the couch and enjoy this Netflix movie with no guilt, no shame, no judgment.
I think that's the key, because, and I'll be honest, I sit there and I think, you know what, I'm just tired. I just want to veg out for a while. And then I'm sitting there thinking, well, I could be doing this and I could be doing that. So I got to stop doing that. Let myself rest. Let myself have that minute, right? I don't take very many, but I know Tim and I sit down at night and we're like, turn the TV on and we just flip through the channels and just, then we fall asleep. It's funny. But anyway, all right. Well, James has a question.
Yes, James.
Yes, Constantine. Number one, very happy to see you on here doing your spotlight. I've been excited ever since we first met some months back before the October event, and I just wanted to say that I will be taking your course. So I'm glad you got it up, and I'm jumping on there and taking it. I highly recommend, folks. I have spent a lot of time visiting with Constantine. He is amazing. Has a tremendous amount of life experience and business experience. And take his course. It's amazing, I'm sure.
And all feedback welcome, right? All of it. And there's more to come. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
And I put both links to his free and his premium course in the chat, guys. But just make sure you do go to the replicated site. The person who invited you, right? I think one of them, I grabbed my demo one link. So just be careful of that. But yes, they're both there. So. Okay, any more questions? Great information, guys. I know we're all like, wait. All right.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for the opportunity, and I'm grateful for everyone that listened in. And you know how to reach me. Reach out if you have questions. Otherwise, we'll see you on the Great Discovery platform.
No, absolutely.
We have one more question up there from Ron, but I have a question for you as well, Constantine. Tim here.
Yes.
We're going to be doing our next global simulcast. Will be coming up in the first quarter, and it'll be a very large one. We'd love to have you on as a speaker. Would that be okay with you?
Absolutely, we'd love to.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
we'll take you on the agenda for sure. That'll be
yes,
great.
please.
And Dr. Virgil, I have kudos for you on the way you have laid out your modules. A very important piece of work that you're doing here. And I'm glad to have tuned in and gotten this opportunity to get acquainted with you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay, I know, Ron, you dropped off. You vanished there for
I just wanted to find out, Constantine, at what age did you feel that you needed to make some changes?
I was about 37 years old when I had this big realization. I mean, I've always been a high achiever growing up in Eastern Europe to parents that were engineers, PhDs, professors. So that discipline and desire for more was always built into me, but was always tied to external things, not necessarily my own trust in myself and my gifts. So around 37 is when kind of things hit a point where I was like, okay, I got to do something about this. I got to stop looking externally and have to start looking internally.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Great. Okay, anything else, guys? Well, Constantine, I want to say thank you very much. You know what? There's so much awesome content on the site. I love every day. It's like a dream come true that we get to see all this awesome stuff come onto the site. And I try my best to get through a lot of it, but I think your course is definitely going to be something I'm interested in. I think it's definitely something that we can all use. Time is great to have back, and to feel good about yourself is good, right? That's what's awesome.
Yeah, it's all about regaining control over time and not letting it control you.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Well, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, you have a great night. Thank you, everybody. And again, we'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, for our course creator overview. Wednesday night, we'll be doing training, and then another course spotlight Wednesday night, and Thursday night is our affiliate overview. These will be up on the video archive, probably not until tomorrow. It takes a little bit for them to render, but they will be up there so you can share them with other people and go ahead and get those out and about. So anything else? Oh, I see another hand up there. TV.
Yes. How you doing, Sandra?
I'm good. How are you?
I apologize for coming in late, but we were trying to enroll someone, and we noticed some things that changed in the back office, and I didn't know if I just didn't get the memo and needed to get clarity. So, because we was looking in the affiliate program for the Genius, the 47 and 14 days, but it was looking to try to charge the person right away. Is that something that has changed?
We did make some changes to that on the trial. So why don't we jump on after this and we can show you what the new thing is, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. All righty, very good. Okay, anything else?
Yes, Dr. Yavanka, for those who want another presentation, she's starting now. So that's in the back office as well. Thank you.
Awesome.
We speak to the world.com. That's right. We speak to the world.com. She does a great session. If you got any guests, you want to find out what the great discovery is all about. Yeah, you've been through it this far. Might as well get the dessert, right? There you have it.
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.